Good morning. The time is 9 a.m. on October 14th. I'd like to call to order the special Police Commission meeting. We have a quorum with Commissioner Fran Collier Clemens, Commissioner Palladino, Commissioner Lopez, and Mayor Rilling. Can we put the agenda up on? Okay. So the first item of business is a public participation. Do we have anybody waiting to address the commission?
If anybody would like to speak, can you please raise your hand? It does not appear so, Mayor.
Okay. Seeing none, we will close public participation and go on to the first item. I'd like somebody to move that for discussion.
I move item A, section 4.
Okay, that will be moved by Commissioner Collier Clemens. Who's going to present for the city?
So we'll have the state project team, DOT project team, present on this project. Darlene, if there's anybody in the lobby, you could elevate them. Did we lose Darlene? Or
And now they should all be coming in.
Okay.
They all have the ability to speak now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hopefully you can hear me.
Good morning, Prashant.
Yes, again.
Good morning, Ben.
Morning,
good morning,
Ben.
City. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, City of Norwalk.
morning.
My name is Prashant Chandra. I'm with the Connecticut DOT from District 3 in New Haven. We appreciate you arranging this special meeting to discuss the issues at the railroad crossing on Route 123 and New Canaan Avenue. We understand this will be an inconvenience to some, but would like to convey the necessity of the work and that it will be done as expeditiously as possible. Just to give you a brief background, on September 22nd, the district was notified that project 30231 has been initiated as a high priority project with an accelerated schedule. The purpose and need of the project is to repair Route 123 at New Canaan Avenue grade crossing, where the road elevation is too high east of the railroad crossing and too low west of the crossing. I think I have Jared online. Hopefully he's there. He can share a presentation for you.
Correct. Good morning, everyone. Name's Jared
Morning.
Hendrickson, project engineer on the project. Ben, how would I be able to share my screen for the presentation here? It says currently your screen's being shared.
Let me stop sharing. I think you should be able to have the privilege to share once I do that.
He will, Ben.
Okay, Jared, you may go ahead and share your screen when you're ready.
Yeah, where do I find that here?
Should be a green button with a black arrow or something like that.
Yeah, I think I have the permissions necessary.
You know what? Let me promote you to panelist. Give me 1 second.
Thank you, Darlene.
Yes, that worked very well. Thank you. Let me share my screen here for everybody. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, I can
Yeah.
see your screen.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, Prashant, you're good to
Okay,
go.
so project 302-31 is a sub-project of 102-371 And I'm sure you're familiar with that. That's on West Avenue in Norwalk. We're also doing a job down there, but we were assigned this emergency job. So this project was first done in August by Metro North, but their work is on the roadway has caused a very short transition to the crossing, causing difficulty for motorists. There have been complaints and instances of low clearance vehicles scraping the roadway surfaces and concerns for DOT maintenance that the snowplows will tear up the roadway and railroad tracks. Also, it will be necessary to install drainage east of the railroad crossing to alleviate the water that has been streaming across the tracks. Right now, yep, the project purpose and need. The railroad adjusted the elevation and super elevation of the roadway tracks to meet the current specifications. Due to improvements, roadway profile required temporary adjustment where the road elevation is too high east and too low on the west side. The permanent improvements listed below are required. Due to the track elevation change, a new profile was developed within the corridor to accommodate truck movement and the traveling public. Due to the super elevation, like I said, water has been streaming across the tracks and drainage improvements are needed on the east side of the railroad track. The project location is on Route 123, New Haven Avenue. Here's a map of it. The tracks are crossing Route 123. Here's a picture of the existing condition. Metro North had to improve their tracks, and as you can see, they raised the tracks up approximately 8 inches. This is during construction. You can see the existing roadway below the tracks, how much the elevation has changed. The tracks are about 8 to 9 inches higher. This is when they were working at night to do the paving. And you can see on the curb that the pavement has risen above the existing driveways also. Here's the finished paving. You can see their final paving has actually buried some of the curb and some of the sidewalk. The catch basins are above the curb and sidewalk, and when it rains, the water will sheet off across the roadway. This is showing some of the work. You can see the pavement is above the sidewalk and the curb on the left. And this is the final transition from the existing pavement to the new pavement. And I think this is a video showing what the roadway looks like with the cars traveling over it. You can see that they hit the hump and then cross the tracks, and there's another hump.
I'll play that one more time for everyone.
So basically, you're just looking to correct those things right there where the cars come over on one side, they hit, and the other side, they hit the hump or the bump.
Correct, Mayor. That's what we'd be looking to do is smooth this out, improve the roadway drainage as well, and get everything so that every vehicle can make it across the tracks right now that needs to make it across the railroad track.
How long do you think this will take, and what is the extent of the road closure?
Okay, Jared, if we can move on to that, we can explain that for the mayor.
Okay, here we go.
So the road closure and detour dates are, we're hoping to start tomorrow, 12 a.m., which is actually tonight, 12 a.m., which is tomorrow morning. And it'll last a week through 10/22, 11:59 p.m. Now we're going to do this 24-hour shift, 2 shifts at 12 hours, accelerated schedule, and trying to do this expeditiously as possible. We know this is going to be a slight inconvenience to most of the public, but it'll be a short duration. And
So
we
the
may need a
road-
potential need for a detour for the drainage installation. but we'll discuss with the contractor if they can do that in stages. And that will start on November 1st, 12 a.m. For one night, and possibly another weekend outage for Metro North when they have an outage on 11/8.
So on those times that we see before us, the road will be completely closed for the duration.
Correct.
Yes, besides for the potential need for drainage installations, either one of these weekends is when we're targeting to do the drainage installations during a existing Metro North track outage, because we have to go underneath the railroad and an outage is required. So we have to correlate our work with when they have a closure. And like Prashant said, it'll be either of these 2 weekends. It won't be both. It'll be one or the other when we do the drainage work.
Okay.
And it will be, there's a potential need. We still need to talk to the contractor about if we can do it in stages rather than a full closure. But there is the potential for a closure needed and detour.
Okay, before we turn it over to the authority for questions, does the police department have any comments or concerns?
No, Mayor. Not at this time. But
How did it go the last time the road was closed for that duration?
with the messaging that we put out and the state put out along the arterial roadways of the Parkway and 95, it worked. There was a backup and convened, but it worked. It worked. But that was also August, so we didn't have school buses and we had vacation calendars. So I think we're going to have a little bit of a busier schedule this time with school buses and other people back to work commuting. So
I have one request. On the north side of the roadway, the sidewalk doesn't connect all the way. I'd like to see if that can be included in this project, as long as we're going to be closing it for such a period of time. Is that possible?
Mayor, I'll have to get back.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jared.
Mayor, I'll have to get back to you. I have to talk with my management about the potential for that happening. But as of right now, it is not included in the project. Like I said, I will talk to my management and I will be able to give you an affirmative answer.
Well, if you could, Ben, if you can bring, or somebody can bring the picture of that up so I can stress why I'm so concerned.
Okay, would you like us to go through the detour plans, Mayor, or would you rather?
Well, I just want to clear this up first. Because I want to get this in.
Yeah,
You can go back to the picture of where the sidewalk has a break in it. Looks to me, there's a possibility for some liability there, because a lot of foot traffic right there. And if somebody were to trip, that would be, we've seen what happens. People trip, and the next thing we know, we're paying out money for their medical expenses and for other things.
Jared, do you happen to have a picture right now in your presentation, or otherwise I can pull up
All right.
something?
Let me share one more time. Let me share. I can actually, let me bring it up on Google Street View for you. How's that sound, Ben? That better?
Yeah, however we can
Here.
see it.
Yeah, I got, well, okay, yeah.
While Jared's doing that, while we're going to, this is Brett Miskowski in traffic. We are going to be running conduit underneath Route 123 during the full closure. So for a future project to extend the sidewalk across, we would not have to touch 123 again. So we are preparing for that. We had a similar project in New Canaan on Richmond Hill Avenue. And based on that project in the Metro North timeframe and our design timeframe, we think it would be very difficult to get it into this project, but it is something we want to discuss with our management later in the week. Because our management is also definitely eyeing completing this sidewalk.
Here, Jared, I actually have a picture from this morning I can share if you stop sharing for a moment.
Yep. It's all yours, Ben.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. So that,
Well, yeah.
go ahead.
It was our understanding during the initial installation of the railroad upgrade in August that there was an extra concrete panel installed here in case of a future sidewalk. So, there is a bit of a gap here, and I know there are challenges with it because of the existing railroad signal infrastructure, among other things, and the accelerated timeline you guys are working on. So, Jared and Brett, yeah, if you want to talk with the management and consider it, we would greatly appreciate that. I hear you, Brett, on that you're running conduit so that you won't have to close New Canaan Ave again if we end up, going ahead with some sort of future sidewalk installation. But we also want to take advantage of the opportunity if possible.
And I can't see from here, but I'm pretty sure when the crossing rail goes down, there's something on the bottom part that blocks people from crossing on the sidewalk. Is that correct?
Right now, it's because there's no sidewalk, there's actually nothing across the sidewalk. The signal is right in the middle of where people would kind of be walking, and it blocks the rest of the roadway. On the other side,
Yeah,
the
that little-
crossing arm is actually set behind the sidewalk, so it does block the sidewalk there.
And Ben, if you swing a little bit more, you'll see that there's an additional gate that
Oh, yes. Yeah.
closes off the other approaches.
Okay.
Rob Bradway from Office of Rail. As you rightly noted, when the crossing was reconstructed, we did have Metro North go one panel further to the north in anticipation of completing the sidewalk. And we're currently in discussion with Metro North on what it's going to take to well, first of all, we need to do an MUTCD required diagnostic review with the railroad, with DOT, with FRA, and with Norwalk on what devices would be needed for the sidewalk extension. Pretty sure we're all just going to agree to copy what's on the south side of it. And, then work with Metro North to come up with a plan to move these existing devices and put the devices on the opposite side of the street.
All right, so maybe we can go into the detour now, and then the commissioners can have an opportunity to ask any questions they need to ask.
Okay, Jared, I'll turn it back over to you with the detour plan.
And is this the same detour that was used when they closed the last time?
Correct. I'll
yeah.
hand it over to Brett for the detour now.
Yes, it will be the same detour. We are going to make a couple changes to the temporary signalization and the actual closure itself based on some lessons learned from the August closure, but 99% of this is going to be the same. So yeah, so for the only real changes are going to be on this slide. Since the Dunkin' Donuts driveway will be closed, we've coordinated that with the property owner. We're going to push the actual closure point out to the intersection, and then rephase the intersection 102, 222, New Canaan Avenue at Main Street, so that there will be only two phases. There will be a north-south phase for Main Street, and then there will be a pedestrian phase to cross Main Street. The Signal Lab, when we get the go-ahead to do this closure, the Signal Lab will rewire the signal so that the no right turn and no left turn blank out signs will be on, since there will be no right turn or no left turn onto Route 123. So we'd basically, instead of the existing phasing, we would just have these two phases that it would rest in the phase on the right, and then when a pedestrian needs to cross Main Street, the signal would go to the phase on the left. For intersections 102-202 and 102-221, that's New Canaan Avenue at the Route 7 ramps and Main Street at Catherine Street and Center Avenue, Right now, we're just going to be monitoring the signals for any changes that need to be made. Currently, there aren't any phases that can obviously be removed or new phases to be added to make the signals function better. So the signal lab will be on site when we get the go-ahead to do this closure to rephase Main Street, the Main Street New Canaan Avenue intersection, and they will also be monitoring the two 102.202 and 102.221 to look for any potential timing or phasing changes to make the traffic flow more efficiently. But-
Good, Brett, you wanna go
Yep.
over the ped
Yeah.
detour?
Yeah, so the PED detour will stay the same. All of the detour routes will stay the same. We made some minor changes to a couple of sign placements based on, I went back through Ben's comments from June before the detours were approved and some feedback we got during and after the August detour on like the VMS signs. So I made a few minor changes there, but the routes are the same. 95% of the signs are the same. The only thing we're going to be changing is the actual closure detail and doing a little more temporary signalization to make people's lives a little bit easier at the Main Street and New Canaan Avenue intersection.
Commissioners, any questions or concerns?
My question is regarding the on-site signalization. Since the road is going to be closed tonight at midnight, will those personnel be there at that time, or are they coming tomorrow morning, or how long is it going to take?
Right now, I believe the plan is to have them come the first thing in the morning. But I have the Signal Labs phone number. So after this meeting, we will discuss I will text them and give them a exact closure time and then when they plan on getting out there.
Thank you.
I have several questions. On the schedule that was displayed a little early on the road closures and detour dates, where reference was made to 11/1 to 11/2 and 11/8 to 11/9. That schedule, obviously everything was subject to change and revision and update, but that wasn't reflected on that schedule. That wasn't reflected on the handouts. Am I correct, or was it?
Correct. That was something that we had a drainage meeting yesterday. It was
Okay.
deemed that the drainage was pretty feasible, and
Yep.
we're just gonna finalize the design. We need to get it approved by Metro North Railroad. That's the next step. And then we'll know for sure what we can do the work on. But preliminarily right now, we can do the work. I have a utility coordination meeting today, and based upon how that goes, I can tell you 100% whether we're gonna include the drainage work or not. But that meeting's at 11 o'clock today.
So that's more of tentative, and it will be then, I suppose, integrated with the schedule that's reflected on the handout that makes reference to October the 22nd to November the 25th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And help me to just reconcile that date I just mentioned to the 25th, but then up above on the first paragraph, construction is to be completed December 1st. So what's that small little gap? In case, or I'm just trying to understand the.
Yes, our intention is to have the construction done before, the holiday period of time. But just in case, we are allowed to work until December 1st if something comes up, or if we get
Okay.
an early season snowstorm that delays us, then we'll have to extend it to the 1st.
Got it. Okay.
Our full intentions are to have this road opened up before the Thanksgiving travel period.
Okay, that's clear. Appreciate that. And then my last question is, between the correction to that, to the grade and the drainage that's necessary, obviously there seems to have been some mishap or miscalculation from last, and I'm just trying to think ahead. What's to avoid that happening once again?
I'll have to give this question to the Office of Rail. Rob, you would know better about how we're gonna mitigate this in the future.
And the only reason I'm asking is the obvious disruption, whatever the cost may be. But the point I'm just making is you just went over the various different, grades, the elevation. And I just thought to myself, how was that not caught early on?
No, you're absolutely correct. And Office of Rail management has called together a working group to draft up renewed procedures to ensure that something like this doesn't happen again. We have not had this experience where a railroad has drastically made this grade change without requesting that permission in advance. We got taken a little bit by surprise on this one, and that's on us. And yeah, I mean, we understand this is a major inconvenience to your community, and the crossing itself was enough of one, and now we're thrusting a second one on you, and we have to make sure it doesn't happen again by making sure proper surveys are done, proper elevations are taken, and not letting the railroad raise outside of limits without advanced coordination. It's unfortunately about what I can say right now on that. I wish
Thank you. Thank you,
I wish I
Rob.
could turn the clock back for you, Tony.
No, I appreciate that. And then with regards to your reference to, or the reference made to the conduits in the future, obviously we're not there yet, and just trying to get a sense of that in the context of what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, so basically the electrical conduit, right? We're gonna run it across the roadway right now as a part of this project, just to get ahead of a potential need for another road closure down the line. We're gonna run the conduit across during this road closure so that we don't need one if the sidewalk does go on the north-hand side, because we will need electrical conduit run to the north side for the pedestrian gate that would need to be installed.
Thank you for that clarification.
Okay, excuse me, I'm somewhat late, however, I am here. And I know I read the material, but did the work has started already?
No.
Is that what you're saying? Or will it start? This is
Work?
Commissioner Sumter.
Good morning, Commissioner Sumter. The work will start tomorrow at 12 a.m. or tonight. That's supposedly when the work is going to start.
Mm-hmm.
Detour will be implemented.
Right?
But the work that you see going on right now out there
Yeah.
is preliminary work needed for the design, such as test pits for utilities so that we can design the drainage properly.
Okay.
And bedrock exploration so that we know if the contractor needs equipment to deal with heavy rock excavation.
Okay. And you talked about the leveling so that the sidewalk and the railroad or the raisure is even with the tracks or above the tracks or something like that?
So the plan fix is so that we're gonna have nice curves on each side of the crossing that will accommodate the elevation and super elevation of the railroad. And so that all vehicles can make every movement through that crossing right now. So there's been reports of scraping from lowboys and other issues out there currently today. So we're gonna fix all those concerns and complaints that you've been receiving.
Oh, okay. All right. When you said scraping, what does that mean?
Means like trailer trucks or lowboys are scraping the pavement when they go over the crossing.
Gotcha.
So there's a potential for hang up. So we need to fix that.
All right. Thank you.
I had two quick questions. One of them was answered, and that was how this got by in the first place, but that needs no further discussion. The second question is all of the affected businesses, I assume, have been notified in advance?
Prashant, District 3 Construction. I don't know, you guys were supposed to send an email out to the Excel list provided. I'll let you give an update on that.
No, that's correct. I did send out an email. I don't know if the actual owners have been notified. So I thought that's an issue that right away is taken up, but I can try to find out what's going on with that.
I know the 3 property owners. Let me go over this real quick. I know like the first district water department was notified. Dunkin' Donuts was notified, and the LLC that owns the Levine Auto Parts and property for the Fairfield Firearms and Archery Store were all notified of the project.
I think that pretty much covers all the businesses that I'm aware of. Any
Okay.
other questions from the authority?
I have none.
No,
None.
Mayor, I have none.
And the other question I had, Tony asked it.
Okay, so seeing no further questions or comments, all in favor of approving this item, signal by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, and now I'll accept a motion for adjournment.
I move for adjournment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I don't think so. Abstentions? Okay, we are adjourned at 9:31. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you,
all.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.